Hey guys, welcome back to Vince Custom. So today I'm sharing with you a fantastic Four Thing garage kit that I just finished painting up for someone. Now this thing is massive. It's about 24 inches tall, weighs a ton. I did do one of these a while back for someone. This one I'm doing for another person, and this time the client on this one wanted it more of the old school colors. The old, like, what is it, Ramada, I think he said. He sent me a picture, and a lot of the picture was a lot of heavy black ink on it with more of a very little bit of yellow, but goes more to the orangey look. So he wanted more of that look for him, so that's what I did. So it may seem a little bit more of a simple paint up, but it still is yellow with oranges, so you got to be very careful. You can't really throw a lot of browns in there, and you can't really throw blacks in there because it would muddy it all up. And because this has so much detail on there, it was a little bit tricky, and also he is one solid piece. There was no really separate part except for the head. The only part that's removable is the head. As you can see over there, it's got the head with the cigar and everything. So that's the only hard part. See, if these legs were like separated or magnets or something I could glue in at the end, it might have been a little bit easier, but it was a little bit tricky to get underneath the arms and stuff. So because he's so big and bulky, I had to throw him upside down, like on the floor. I had to put towels on the floor. And it's just very hard with a lot of these bulky items, and he's definitely a workout item. But, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's not that it was really complex of a paint up. It was just that he's so big and with so much detail, you got to get in there and you got to try to make sure you hit all those areas. Because there's sometimes when you spray stuff, and then you turn them upside down, you see that, oh my god, you missed all this part underneath his armpits, underneath his legs, his calf muscles, stuff like that. So it was a little bit tricky. So to give you guys an idea of, other than just painting it up because it's straightforward, you know, coloring, what I did was, when I got it home, because this doesn't come in like a foam box or anything. I met the guy at my parents' house up north, and he passed it on to me when we did some trade-offs. This is kind of how we do stuff. So this was just kind of, as you see, didn't have a box or anything. So when I got it home, what I did is I gave it a nice wash in alcohol, because you figure if it's not in the box and you're handling it, and then I'm handling it and stuff like that, you really got to clean it up. So what I did is got some towels and stuff, and I got like 91% alcohol, and I kind of really washed it all down and everything. And then once it was dried up, I set up a two horses outside on the side of my house by the woods with a big plank of wood. And what I got is I got Rust-Oleum primer. And what I did is I used Rust-Oleum primer to prime up. The reason why I use Rust-Oleum, usually I use Duplicolor. The reason why I use Rust-Oleum is the Duplicolor on outside, it's got more of a finer spray. So I was a little bit worried about trying to get into some of these areas because they weren't separated a big part. And if the wind hit it the wrong way, would create a lot of dust. Well, with the Rust-Oleum, it stays like it stays wet a little bit longer. It takes like almost a week to really cure. At least I found out with the Rust-Oleum primer. So what I did is I pretty much did all the Rust-Oleum primer, and I left them in the garage for about a week. It was good weather. It wasn't cold, but it wasn't blazing hot. And it gave it a really good chance to really cure up. And then what I did is I got a can of yellow paint from Rust-Oleum. I think it was, I forgot exactly what kind of color. So then I gave them a nice good coating of yellow on it. And then once all that was done and everything, I went in with my airbrush and I did all the shading. I went in there and I did all the shading. I kind of went in there and started hitting areas. So there was three colors basically. I had a yellow I mixed up, an orange, and then a darker orange with a little bit of brown. So I went in there with the orange first, and I kind of gave it a shading and stuff, tried to work out some muscles and areas. And then from there, I took my time and I went in with darker areas with a little bit of a darker orange and stuff. And that's kind of as far as I went with that. Now the only downside is because he's so big, I had to go back in here and sand all this down because there was a lot of dusting that kind of created on here. So I kind of sanded down all that stuff, and then it worked out from there. So pretty straightforward. It's just a lot of handling and stuff like that. Now as far as the back part, the fire hydrant, you could kind of see. Basically what I did is I gave it a nice basic coat of red, Spaztec red I had, and then from there I did a lot of dry brushing of metal to make it look like it was worn and older. And then this clear water, since it's a clear resin, whoever cast this up that resin was probably yellowing because this is an older kit. I think this kit is probably going on maybe 4 or 5 years, I think now. I can't really remember. So the coloring was yellowing a bit. And if I went in with my Tamiya or Tamiya blue, I've had a funny feeling it would be more of a green color. So what I did is I went in with my Duplicolor clear adhesion promoter, which is like a clear primer. And I you know, of course I washed it all up and cleaned it. And then I went with the clear primer. And then what I did is I used Spaztec Candy Blue on this, because the Spaztec Candy Blue is actually got a little bit more of a blue pigment that won't really mess up with the green, like it won't create a green with that yellowing resin. And it actually worked out really good. So I'm actually liking some of these Spaztec clears a little bit more, because once I started spraying it on, I realized the green wasn't really forming like it would have done with my other clear coats that I have. It kind of kept it like that blue. Now, there is a little bit of hint of a greenish tint to it, but it kind of works for what's going on. It might be a little bit hard to see. I didn't want to go too crazy, but I did do a little bit on there. You might be able to see a little bit of like whitish on here. I figured, you know, the front of the water would have a little bit of white foaming on there. So what I did is I took a sponge and I did some very waterish, you know, watered down white, and I kind of sponged it around some of these areas. I hit it with the blow dryer, and then I sort of hit it again, and it worked out pretty good. And then I kind of gave it a good clear coat too from Spaztec. And it worked out really good for the water. I actually like the way it came out. So, but I mean, in certain areas and certain lights, you might be able to see a little bit of that greenish blue in there, but it works okay. It's not like the end of the world. And then as far as the base goes, the base is supposed to be matching up to the base I did for them. I did a OG Hulk from Sideshow for them a while back. So he wanted me to match up the colors as best as possible. Like, I don't have that base with me, so it's kind of hard to match those colors. But from the old pictures I did and everything, I tried to match, because he wants to have like these two characters sort of side by side, which is not a bad idea. You know. And then other than that, that's pretty much it, straightforward. Like I said, I did one of these kits a while back. I've done a review on a kit. You can see they have the old cigar look, which is kind of cool. And that's the one cool thing about, you know, garage kits and some of these fan art items, is if a company has the license, they're never going to put a cigar or a cigarette in their mouth, like for Gambit, Wolverine thing. But when people do like fan art items or garage kits and stuff like that, they can do it and get away with it, because you don't have to worry about that whole, oh, we don't want to promote this stuff, you know. So it's got that cool old school look. But all in all, that is pretty much it. Just a lot of details, really big kit. Just try to work out those face and teeth a little bit more. Now, so one last thing, as far as the eyes go, these are those eye decals that I got from the guy off of Etsy. I'm losing my mind what they were. But I did do a review on it a while back. But those eye decals are really, really cool. I'll link it in the description of the video, so if you guys want to check out those eye decals. He's got a lot of variations and sizes, and actually the largest size worked out perfect for this kit. So that is pretty much that. So there you go. That's the thing kit. Pretty straightforward. Got that nice, good classic look for him. I did show it to a couple friends, and they were like, why is he so orange? But if you go back to the old comic books, he had way more of an orangey yellow look than a yellow look, which is kind of cool. So there you go. That is the thing paint up. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with some more videos.